her needs to be a little more creative about it right now. So
Okay.
she was the one that showed the other day. What's it to do?
See how they do. Send her up.
Most of the time they step up, but if someone else is willing to do it, they just let them.
Yeah, that's kind of what was happening last time. So I'll send her over.
I always get worried because it's like, oh, after lunch one week, it's like, oh no, I just have math class and then business management. It's like, okay, I can do it. It is easy. It's Mr. Stats.
So you took this last year with Mrs. Reed?
No, we had intro to natural resources,
Oh, okay.
but we,
But she went over forestry
yeah,
stuff.
we ended it early, so.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. If you don't mind.
And she went over the
He's
textbooks.
No,
What we're getting into today a little bit. So think of a way that you know of your group objects that are similar.
Yeah, we went over the
oh,
trees.
yep, okay, got it.
Make sense?
The thing you did last time.
And
Maybe?
we did
Just
that.
anything that's similar. So like seeds, beans, whatever.
Oh.
Just think like something a way that you group things.
Oh, just things.
There's the light bulb. Things.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I got it. Right,
Types
so
of
there's
trees.
how we can group
And
trees, bushes.
Take a look at this. Get back to
Yeah, okay. Do we need to write this on like a separate sheet of paper somewhere, or?
Just think of it.
Oh.
Just think of it.
We don't have to write it down.
It's so nice.
Over here. Okay.
I don't like just using like a whole piece of paper to like write one thing down.
Yep. We'll just think.
I like save so much paper. Like in US history, it's like I'll have my days in history, it'll just like have listen off to the side, I'll write stuff, and then below I'll write stuff, and then it's like, I still have like that much room.
Why are you in here? Because I have to be.
Are you
And then I'll just flip back, so it's like I can.
Okay, so we're actually gonna write this on a sticky note.
What?
Yeah. Writing on spell words on a sticky note.
No. No, just pull a seat.
So you know,
You, well, you get a seat on the other chair, bring it up.
Sorry, right your way.
Wait, are we writing that on these or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Change the plan. We're gonna write this on these.
Think of one way that you know of.
And when you're done writing,
Think of at least one way that you know of.
group objects. Group objects that are similar. Okay. Once you write that on a sticky note, come up here, put it on board. Just stick your sticky note on board. What? Why is it ignoring him? Pretend it's not there.
Cool. Great. First day in class. Yeah, don't miss my day.
When you write down your bell word, yeah, that's right. That video evidence you missed the date. If you get done with your bell word, go ahead and stick it on board.
Or any that.
You're confused on what we're writing down.
Wait, here's.
Yep, stick it on board.
Think of at least one way that you know of.
So if you have a bunch of objects that are similar, like leaves, or like beans, or rice, whatever,
You tile it.
how do you group those?
Why?
Size, color, what do you
Oh
like?
wait, maybe I'm not.
There's one way you guys Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. Yes.
What? What?
One. Is that everybody?
Nope. Okay, cool. I say we should.
Seems like I'm missing some people. There's one.
Huh? Are they big, small, round, square shaped, or they?
Stay up for you. Yep, we're gonna write our bell on a sticky note.
Oh, I didn't write my down. Oh, well.
So everybody got their bell work done? Not yet? You thinking?
I didn't write my name, so.
Writing?
I didn't write my name on mine.
Thinking, writing, stuff. What do we have up here so far? We have quick for size and color, size or color, object size. So we have a forestry specific one, says pine cones and pine needles. One says color shape, one says color, one says species, breed, color, size, color, characteristics. So they're all pretty similar, right? They all want what? On the board, what are we talking about a lot? Size and color are two things that we talk about a lot up here. What else? One says with rubber band. Two different projects that are similar with rubber band. Not quite what I was going for, but good thought. Size, color, characteristics. So you're gonna have to sort these on board, but they're all pretty similar. That's basically just all one big group, right? Now, please be careful and don't spill these. Don't go along for, just hang on for just a minute. I'll give you some instructions. There's a couple of you. Put those back there.
Steady.
This table. Okay. Listen up. We have birdseed on our tables. Carefully, we're going to set that on our table. We're going to sort it. Sort it however you want to sort it. Somebody take notes. Somebody at your table has paper. Take notes on how you're sorting. Okay? So somebody take notes on how you're sorting. Somebody over here take notes on how you're sorting. And we got somebody taking notes, right? Yes, both cups. I have more cups because I have more tables. So you sort however you want to sort.
All together.
Yeah, you can do both cups together. You can do whatever you want. I just want to see how you sort them into different little groups. Yeah. Just do the best you can. We don't have to sort through all of them. I realize I give you a lot. And they're really small. Yeah. Pretty small birds. Pretty small birds. I see some sorting going on. You talking about why you're sorting them? Why you're doing them? Size and color? Okay. We don't want them to hear. Okay.
What kind of notes?
How you're sorting it? So are they sorting it by size, shape, color? What are they doing? Maybe by type. So we're sorting seeds right now. However you want to sort them.
It's okay, I'm eating popcorn.
Gather some bird paper.
There's some corn seeds in there.
That's what he was saying.
Crystallize them. They didn't look like crystallized them. I don't know. So couple more minutes to sort out a few more seeds. We don't need to sort them all. There's a lot.
That's corn. Yeah. In a pop version, it doesn't look like that.
So do we have 2 groups? 3 groups? What do we have?
Wait. Get like a page.
Yeah. What do we have? A couple groups of
Sorted by size. Sorted by
cool.
other
So let's do it by color. Okay, interesting. So what do you guys?
Like not like trying to like be, what's the point?
You'll find out.
Okay. Oh, there's another one of those things we added to yesterday, kind of.
A little bit.
Okay.
All classes?
Yeah,
See some good sorting going on.
I should have this one drawn.
I don't think anyone did. What's just actually
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like me saying beta C jobs are easy. They are, but.
I'm not sorting.
Yeah. I love farming, but it's very tedious. And long.
I feel like it'd be easier to get like a
That would be fun.
Okay, so write down how many different groups of seeds you have on your piece of paper. Write down how many different groups of seeds you have right now on your paper.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 groups. Just write that down. Nope. You're good. We have 4 different groups. 3 different groups. Okay. So we do. Go ahead and put all your seeds back together in one pile. Okay, collect your paper. Put all your seeds back together in one pile.
It's one pile.
One pile. Take a paper. How many groups we have?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it right here. If I really wanted to, I'd want to cook
Okay.
very good and last.
That one?
No, I'm doing it over here, so.
Now, we're going to see if you can copy another group.
Oh, what?
We're going to see if you can get the same number of groups of
They've
seeds
got 4 different categorizing.
as other people. We're going to see if we can get the same organization as other people.
By size.
Should I do this again?
Yeah, so you're going to sort your seeds based on what their paper says. See if you can get to the same number of groups. So was it the same already?
Another one says
You're
4,
done.
another one says 5.
Was it the same already?
No, it's 5, 4, 3. What?
Wait,
4?
Wait, is that?
That's the ask. So one cup had 5, one had 3. One had 4, one had 3.
2 religious.
So you had 4 or did you have 3?
What is this?
You had 4. So see if you can get to 3 groups. See
4, the small ones, and the black.
if you can get to 3 groups.
Yeah.
Bring out. So this table is trying to get to how many groups? 4? We're trying to get to 4 groups, right? So how are you going to get to 4?
No, it sounds like 3.
You two. Looks like you have to get to 2 groups. Really easy.
It's taking a while, but paid off. Took 12 years, but it paid off.
Okay. So basically what I was having you do is group seeds or group organisms by different characteristics. Why would that be important in a forestry class?
Because there's degrees of animals. Yeah.
Trees.
Different types of trees, different types of seeds maybe. But the big picture, there's different types of trees. And we all have different ideas on how to group different types of trees or seeds or animals, whatever. Right? So were you able to match your, when you traded, were you able to match those groups? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Were they different than the way you sorted it?
Yeah.
To start?
Really?
A little bit. I hear a positive yes back here. I hear kind of maybe. So yeah, everybody has a little bit different way of organizing, but we should be able to get organization by using their key, right? Go ahead and put those seeds back in our cups. Try not to get them all over Mrs. Hopkins' floor. We don't want to do that.
You eat it.
When you're done with the cups, go ahead and put them in the middle of your table there. I'm going to hand out your guided notes for today's lesson.
Not exactly like
Guided notes for today's lesson.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody have a guided notes now?
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So today we're going to start talking about identifying trees. And what we just did was an exercise in grouping. So a lot of times when we're identifying trees or animals or other plants, we group them by what we've talked about maybe in our bell word, which were what? What was our bell word? What did you say for your bell word? Characteristics. Like what? Size? Color? What's another characteristic that we could sort by?
Smell.
Smells, maybe? What else? You just thinking cat. Texture? Okay. Shape is one I would think of. Size, we talked about. So today we're talking about identifying trees. Objectives today, compare and group various items based on characteristics as a group. So we've already done that a little bit in our opening activity. We're going to do that some more with some trees. Define key terms to identifying trees and plants. And then at the end of class, or the beginning of class next time, depending on how today goes time-wise, we're going to look at some examples of trees and try to identify them based on things that we talked about today. Has anybody heard of a dichotomous key before? Connor's saying yes. Has anybody else heard of it? One back there. You guys tell me what it means. What is it? Connor?
Basically what you use whenever, kind of like, what's that?
Basically the definition that I threw up there too early, right?
Yes.
Dichotomous key is a device that can be used to easily identify an unknown organism. So you'll notice on our guided notes we have areas to fill all this in, right? Each step of a dichotomous key is presented with two choices. So that's kind of the name there, right? Di. Anybody familiar with prefixes? Di means two, right? So we get two choices. And to make a choice about a particular characteristic, the organism, you're led to a new branch of the key. Eventually, you'll be led to the name of the organism you were trying to identify. So when we were trying to identify seeds, or sort the seeds, what did you guys look at first? I saw a lot of groups of like maybe big black seeds and little small round seeds that were different colors, reds and whites. Did you guys look for color first? Did you look for size first? What did you look for first? Size first. Okay. Did anybody look at shape first?
Color first.
Color first?
Yeah.
Okay. So what were the colors you were looking for? black, and everything else but black, maybe? Is that what you did? Or did you sort of did like 4 different groups, of reds, yellows, blacks, whites? So I saw a lot, just on my observations, I saw a lot of black seeds and everything else. So it looked to me like you're sorted by color, or maybe by size, since the black seeds were a lot bigger. Okay? Any questions on what a dichotomous key is? How do we use that in a forestry class, or out in a forest looking at trees? What do you think? Connor, you've done forestry, what do you think?
Well, you could start off with a question like, is it cone bearing? Yes, no, and then it leads you to something else. If you say yes, you can be like, are the cones, what purpose do the cones serve? Say like, they're like seed bearing, or are they, but, and then like, continue on down the line.
Awesome. Awesome, yeah. So did everybody hear that? He said you could start off with a question like, is it cone bearing? Yes or no? So that's your 2 groups. Does it have a cone? Does it not? So those are ways we can use it in forestry. So when we're creating a dichotomous key, first step is to look at the group of objects or organisms, separate them into 2 groups based on a single distinguishing characteristic. So with our bird seed, you all basically grouped it into black sunflower seeds and not black sunflower seeds, right? Sound about right? Kind of. So you created a dichotomous key without even knowing it. You had 2 basic groups of seeds. Okay, then we separated maybe into some more groups. I saw a couple of groups that had 4 groups of seeds. What were those 4 groups?
Corn, the sunflower seeds.
White, yellow,
Yeah, like the little white ones. and
Okay.
Like those goldish.
Okay. So you separated the first 2 groups into other groups. Make sense? That's what we do out in the wild when we're looking at trees. Or animals, plants. We use dichotomous keys in a lot of different places. We can even use them in like soil sciences, geology, anywhere that we're kind of comparing, contrasting, trying to identify stuff. So, here's some stuff that I found in my desk. We have this big black round thing, commissary highlighter, a pen, pencil, paperclip, and pencil sharpener. How do you group those things?
Use.
Use, maybe? What would be another way we could group those? Size, maybe? What was that? Yeah, use for. Use for. Maybe color? You think? Maybe shape? Could we group it by size? Maybe? Some things are big, some things are small. Lots of different ways we could group them. The way that I grouped them was long tubular objects, short non-tubular objects. So each group can have more than one descriptor in there, right? So we have long tubular objects. That's a round 2. That's round 2. Round 2. Paperclip round 2. No. Pencil sharpener round 2. No. So we split into long tubular objects, short non-tubular objects. Then what? What is it made of? Right? Did we talk about that? What's a pencil made out of? Wood, for the most time, yeah, graphite. That's a mechanical pencil, but this one's not. Pen, highlighter, plastic. Pencil sharpener might be plastic. Has some metal in there. Paperclip, metal. So, on the long tubular objects, you can split into constructor of plastic and constructor of material other than plastic. So, there are a couple things constructed from plastic, right? First one was what? Highlighter, maybe? Yeah. What else? Tin. Round, tubular, constructed with plastic. Then we can go into color on that. Sticking with long tubular, green and gray, highlighter, blue and clear, tin. So we eventually get down to the name of the object we're looking at. Constructed from material other than plastic. The only round tubular object we had made from not plastic is what? Pencil. Okay? Short, non-tubular objects. There's two of those. Pencil sharpener and paperclip. Okay? How would we sort those? Color is what we have up there. Black and silver, pencil sharpener, just silver, paperclip. Okay? So that's what we call a spider chart. It has little legs sprouting out. This is kind of the more professional version of the same thing. This is how professionals would do dichotomous keys. So long tubular objects, if it was one of those, you would go to number 2. Is it constructed from plastic? Is it constructed from material other than plastic? If it's made from plastic, we go to number 3. If it's not made of plastic, it must be a pencil. That's all we have. Green and gray, highlighter. Blue and clear, pen. So if we go to number 3, those are our 2 options. If we go on to number 4, those are our non-tubular short objects, black and silver, pencil sharpener, silver, paperclip. So you can see how each level has 2 options, right? Lead us in the right direction. Okay? Questions on dichotomous keys, or how we use them, or why they're important? Seeing none, let's get to the fun part of the day. Actually, identifying trees. The reason you're in this class, probably. How do we identify trees? What makes them different? First way, leaves. Here's an interesting question. Do pine trees have leaves? No.
Yes.
Yes?
Modified
No?
leaves, they're called needles.
They're not called leaves, they're called needles.
But they're modified leaves.
Are they modified leaves? This could go either way. I've heard needles called leaves. I've heard needles not called leaves. Personally, I don't call them a leaf. I think it's a needle. They're different. So if we're looking at a leaf, we're probably not looking at a conifer tree. So leaves, one way we can identify. What do you think another way is? Bark, maybe, yeah. So tree bark. How do you think we could identify a tree based on its bark? Isn't all bark the same? No? It's not just all brown and scaly and stuck on the outside of a tree? No? What are some different types of bark that we've seen? Like a birch? It's kind of a white papery material, right? What other kinds of bark have we seen? So we've heard kind of a corky bark. Have you ever seen a really rough bark? With big old flake type things on it? Have you ever seen a really smooth bark other than the white birch bark? Yeah, there's some of those out there. Bark is a pretty key component of how we identify trees. The next one, I believe, is on your notes for you already. Fruit. A lot of trees put on a fruit. So if I'm looking at an apple that's still hanging on the tree, you think it's an orange tree? No. Why not? Because it has an apple on it, right? The fruit's a pretty obvious giveaway, unless you don't know what the fruit is. Like this fruit up here? Mangoes? Maybe? I don't think so. Maybe we need to have a fruit lesson for Mr. Caldwell. Those are like little seed packets. So we can identify based on the fruit. Like I said, if you're looking at an apple tree, it's probably not an orange tree. If you're looking at an orange, hanging on a tree, it's probably not an apple tree. Just a guess. Twigs, that's also on your notes for you. Some trees, we can just look at the twig, see the characteristics of it, and tell what it is from that. What do you think our last one is? What was that?
Height.
Height, maybe. What's some other thoughts?
Shade.
Shade, maybe. Color, maybe. All good ideas.
Yeah, the roots.
Root systems, maybe? Can you really see the root systems if you're just going out and walking through the woods?
Sometimes yes.
Sometimes you can. Most of the time, the roots are going to be down where we can't see them. Flowers. Trees that bloom, like those fruit trees, if they're in bloom. We can look at the flower. One of my favorite flowering trees is a crabapple. You see really bright little pink flowers on them. Really, really pretty in the late spring. So if we go out at the right time of year, we can look at flowers. Now, can you identify by flowers year round? No. No? What if you go in August? Could you identify by a flower? No. Depends on where you are, maybe? Yeah. You're in Florida or something? Absolutely. Yeah. So any questions on the 5 ways to identify trees? No? Pretty straightforward? How do we group trees? So, let's go back to our dichotomous key knowledge. Can I kill the lights? Is that going to mess you up? No. Everybody still see all right to take notes?
Yes, we're good.
Groupy trees. Connor, earlier, yes sir.
Whether it has needles or leaves.
Whether it has needles or leaves, okay? So do you think there's a name for if it has needles and if it has leaves? Conifer? Which one is that?
Needle-bearing trees.
A needle-bearing tree? Cone tree?
Yeah.
What about a leaf tree? What would that be called?
That'd be a leaf-bearing.
Not evergreen.
No.
A leaf-bearing tree, maybe? There's a more technical term that I'm looking for. Deciduous, absolutely. Conifer, cone-bearing trees, bears needles, broadleaf or deciduous, leaf-bearing trees with leaves that are broad and flat do not bear needles. So our conifers, they're our good old Christmas trees. We go up skiing, our pine trees, our Doug firs. The cone-bearing trees that have needles. Broadleaves, trees with leaves that are broad and flat, do not bear needles. You can kind of get the name from their identifications, right?
Broadleaf, maybe the leaves are really broad.
Broad, tree has a leaf, pretty broad. That was fairly straightforward. Conifer, con, kind of sounds like cone, right?
Yeah.
Question? So after we've grouped them into whether it has cones and needles or whether it has leaves, they're broad and flat and doesn't have needles, what do you think we go from there? Whether they lose their leaves or not, maybe. Good thought.
Evergreen.
If it's evergreen or not, maybe. Good thought. Yeah, evergreen and deciduous. So evergreen trees, as the name implies, they usually stay green throughout the year. Trees with needles or leaves that remain alive throughout the year. Deciduous trees, trees that lose their leaves in the fall, grow them back in the spring. So we can actually have some conifers that don't stay green all year. Like the larch kind of turns a red color. It doesn't lose its needles, but they turn red. Deciduous trees. Or we can have some trees that have leaves. They're evergreens. They don't lose their leaves in the fall. Deciduous trees, they become naked sticks in the middle of winter. They're just big old sticks. weeks from now, they'll start kind of budding out, growing their leaves, getting ready to grow all summer long, right? Questions on evergreens or deciduous? Nope. Now we get to practice our art skills. You'll notice we have blanks on our fill-in notes. Try to draw that shape for each word as best you can. Now, I'm not an artist. I don't expect you to be an artist. But do the best we can. The first one is ovovate or obovate. It's kind of a fatter, really smooth leaf. Has a very unique shape. You can see how it gets really pointy down towards the end where it actually attaches to the stem. So we're talking about this guy right here. We practice our art skills. You didn't know you were in art class, did you? Very. When you get ovovate drawn, we can go to elliptic. Have you ever heard of an elliptical exercise machine? You know why they're called that?
Motion.
Because the motion is a shape. It's called an elliptical, right? So that shape there is kind of like an elliptical. Long, kind of an oval shape. It's pointy on both ends. This is the end where it attaches to the stem. This end is out away from the stem. Ovate. What does ovate sound like? Oval. So that one really is an oval leaf. It's a little bit different than an elliptic leaf. Have you ever seen any trees with any of these? Have you ever paid attention?
Yeah, probably.
Probably, but you just don't remember? Connor, do you have any ideas? Have some of these leaves?
Yeah, that's great.
Ash trees might be elliptic? Okay. Maybe. We have some more leaves to go through, so maybe. Maybe not. Does everybody have those ones drawn? Lancelet. You know what a lance is? What's a lance?
Like a spear.
Like a spear, that's how I would describe it. So you can see how the lancelet leaf is kind of spear shaped. Long, thin, oblong leaf. Like a big paddle. Yeah. Pretty long, has a definite shape. Orbicular leaf. That one sounds like what? What does orbicular sound like? Maybe circular. What's the shape? Circle. So I think of an orbit when I think of an orbicular. How the moon orbits Earth in kind of circular pattern. That's how I remember orbicular.
Caroline hasn't done anything in 15 years.
Some football 101. Right? Only time for Super Bowl this weekend.
Oh, it is Super Bowl this week.
It is, yeah. We need to be talking about it right now. Oval.
We should get needle.
Did we skip needle? Yeah. Why is that not on there? Okay, so a needle, we're just going to draw a little thin line. I'm not sure why that one got skipped on my PowerPoint. I apologize. Everybody knows what a needle looks like? I hope. If you don't, we can get you some help on drawing a needle. Basically just a line. There we go. Now we're good. Moving on to oval. Got that one drawn. Couple of you have, couple of you haven't.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea that there was this many different leaf shapes?
I thought
Yes?
more.
What?
There's one more.
There's one more? Yeah, I know. Did you have any idea there was this many? Do you think this leaf was a leaf?
Yeah.
That's how I thought for a long time. Just thought a leaf was a leaf. What difference does it make what shape it is? There's our needle. It was just out of order. So that's an interesting needle. It has like 3 needles on one.
Tree with needle.
I know it. I know it. It's
Ponderosa, maybe? You're right. They have the groups of 3. Yeah, Western white pine has the 5 really long ones, right? Larch is kind of a big group. Is that all the leaves we had on there? Yes? How we doing? Doing okay? Do we need to stretch? Need to have a stretch break? Yawn? Wake up after lunch? Food coma?
What kind of leaf is this?
What kind of leaf is this? Do you know? Canadian baby. A maple, yeah.
Canadian.
The maple. So we don't need a stretch break? We're good?
Yeah.
We're not in a food coma after our big lunches? Okay, that whole big chunk of leaf is called a blade. Think of it like a sword. I think of it like a sword. This is my handle, this is my blade of my sword. The margin. Where have you heard the word margin before?
It's like writing an essay.
Writing a paper, right? What does it mean when you're writing a paper? It's the side, or the edge, right? So the edge of our leaf is the margin. The tip of the sword, excellent. I like this sword analogy. A vein. Where have you heard of a vein before? In our body, you can see our veins. Excellent, yeah. They pump the nutrition and everything through our veins. You can see that here. If you look at your forearm, you kind of see your veins. They kind of like spider out, right? So just like we can see them through our arms, on most of us, we can see them through the back of the leaf. You can see them sprouting out there. Veins. Midrib. It's kind of like our backbone, if you will. Kind of goes up through the center of our leaf, gives us some structure and support. What do you think that last one? Stem, or the petiole, if you've had plant science. I think most of you have. The stem, or our handle on our sword, if we keep that analogy going. Right? So refresh my memory. It's been a long day and I'm forgetting. What did we talk about just a couple slides ago? We started talking about how we classify trees, right? What are our two ways that we classify trees? Needles and leaves. What are those called? What are those two called? If we have a needle, it's a conical, conifer. And if it has a leaf, it's a broadleaf, right? So then we classified our conifers and our broadleafs all one into what? Evergreens or deciduous trees. And now we've just talked about different leaf shapes, right? There were quite a few of them. Now we talked about the parts of the leaf. So you can identify the different parts of the leaf. What is this? This line part two right here in the middle?
Midrib.
Midrib. Yeah. What is this line pointing to?
Margin.
The margin. Think of it like the margin on your paper. Right here, this line. Veins. Think of it like your arms. What is the whole thing called? The blade. And our handle of our sword, very bottom. The stem or the petiole. Excellent. So we have leaf margins. Oh man, we actually have to learn today. It's rough life, right? Spiny leaf margins. Now we're talking about what the edge of that leaf looks like. Some leaves, have you ever gone running through a cornfield? Maybe like a corn maze or something? Yeah. Have you ever been cut by a corn leaf? Yeah. They're kind of sharp. So the margin on a corn leaf is pretty sharp. So we're talking about the different types of margins on leaves.
Man, that's good.
Are we drawing leaf margins? I don't remember. I believe we are.
Yeah, we are.
So we have a spiny one. Smooth one. Smooth should be easy to draw. Just a smooth line around there.
Yeah.
Well, that's not
You gotta
good.
start from the bottom.
We don't want spiny on smooth. That would make no sense. Just cross out smooth. Wavy. Like waves on the ocean. Real bumpy. Wavy. How are your art skills? Are they better than mine? I hope they're better than mine. Mine are terrible.
No, Oregon grape.
The next three are all on one picture, so I hope you can understand what it's saying here. Serrate is on the far left, serrulate in the middle, biserrate on the right hand. What does it mean if it's serrated? You have a knife that's serrated.
That's notches.
Kind of has those little notches in it. So these leaves have some notches. Serrate has kind of mild notches. Serrulate has a little few more notches, kind of a finer notch, kind of like a little finer knife. Biserrate, you can see it looks kind of like the regular serrate. It has big bumps, but then the big bumps have little bumps. So there's serrations on the serrations.
There we go.
So we have serrations on the serrations. That's that method. That's a good method.
It's like a good coach.
Got those three drawn. Have it down. Just a little bit more, then we have a fun activity to go. Ready? Now to start. This one's round. Now it's sharp. I want to take a minute and remind you that we have Forestry CE practices on Thursday mornings. Right, Connor? Is 7:30 in the morning on Thursdays. So if you're interested in that, come on in. Ag mechanics CDE practices after school all this week. Contest is next Wednesday if you're interested in ag mechanics. So those two together are known as load margins. Kind of like an earlobe. Okay, now we're gonna start talking about veins. We're talking about veins now. Palmate, like the palm of your hand. Right? It spreads out through the broad leaf. Pinnate, but smaller, veins kind of going more frequently throughout the leaf. Looks like a hand from a cartoon character. Turkey can, yeah.
Can I have your attention, please? Due to a broken backboard at Wendell High School, the boys' basketball game will be in Jerome tonight at Jerome High School. The freshmen will be at the old middle school at 6 o'clock. The JV will be at the high school at 6 o'clock, and the varsity will be at the high school at 7:30. Okay, so players, please let your parents know. We will also send out a all call to everybody, letting them know of the change. Okay, so tonight's boys basketball game with Wendell will be at Jerome High School. The freshmen will be at the middle school at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so basketball people, make sure you go to the right spot tonight. Don't drive all the way over to Wendell just to find out the games out there. That'd be a waste of gas. I mean, like spectators, somebody wanted you to go over there. Sorry. Simple and compound leaves. You don't have to draw those, no. A simple leaf have one stem that supports a single leaf. And they're divided at the base of the leaf while attached to a twig. Simple leaf, just one leaf, one stem, attached to the twig. Simple enough, follows its name. KISS method. So you guys know what that is. If you don't look it up. The KISS method. Just simple, stupid. Yeah, that. Compound leaves. They still have one stem. And they have several leaflets. There's no bud at the base of the leaflet. So this whole stem, from base to the edge, that's just going to be one bud. But when it grows out, it has all these little leaflets. Have you ever seen a leaf like that? Did you ever think it was more than one leaf? Yeah. Probably. I did. Now you know it's a compound leaf that has little leaflets on it. Now you can educate all your friends. Say, hey, look at that leaf. You can say, nope, that's compound leaf. You can be a, forestry correct. Okay, I think we're just about to our fun part. Appreciate you guys hanging with me through all these long notes. Leaf arrangement, opposite, alternate. What does it mean if something's opposite?
Very alternate.
No?
No, they're right across.
Opposite is the exact Opposite, is there? Yes, there's writing on that.
Okay, good.
Most trees have alternate arrangement, but maple, ash, dogwood, and chestnut have opposite arrangement. What is up with your stone today? Is it a Monday? No,
No, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's a Monday for this day though. So you can see opposite, the little leaflets are directly across from each other. On an alternate, they're kind of spaced out. It's a little bit hard to tell on this top one right here. This one, they alternate. They alternate sides, they also alternate location on that stem. So we do have to draw alternate and opposite, right? Make sure you're doing that. Fairly straightforward. Just make sure that on the opposite you have them right across from each other. Alternate, we space them out a little bit, switch sides.
Alright, get drawing.
Hold on. We'll get to it. No need to beat up on Riley.
It's up on me, 90%.
He beats up on you.
Everyone does.
Also, you did it wrong.
Questions on opposite or alternate?
Drawing arrow.
Types of fruit. Oh. Hey, guess what? We're on the last page. Yeah. We're gonna make it. We're gonna survive. Forestry. Nuts. Now wait a minute. I thought a nut was a nut. Are you trying to tell me a nut is a fruit?
Protein, I can agree.
What?
I should draw none.
That just blew my mind. I thought a nut was a nut. A fruit was a fruit. That is a fruit. Vegetables are fruits too. Gotta be careful with that
Unless you
one.
like a carrot. And potatoes.
Catkins. Ever seen a cattail?
Yeah.
Yeah? Got that really furry tail kind of looking thing that looks like a cat?
First
Is there a write that somewhere?
Is that on your notes? Should be. Should be on.
Are we gonna draw these? Oh,
That's, yep. So there's a fill-in. Catkins. So that second dot there under nuts is for catkin. Two. Wing, round,
That's my.
are the Samara,
That's a carrot.
are the Samara fruits. So on our beginning, we had this fruit that Jacob thought was a mango. It's not a mango. Yeah, now I have to mess with you. Alright. Makes it fun.
Sorry.
So those are the Samara fruits, winged and round. The one looks like a wing, like a fly or a bat. Round. You ever seen those round things? Has anybody gone swimming at the Natsupa?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like elm trees make these little round fruits, and they blow off in the wind we get out there. They fill a pool, put all these little round things, kind of nasty. They don't hurt you, it's just fruit.
What would happen if you ate it?
Not sure.
Be pretty gross, probably.
It'd be pretty gross, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think there's any toxins in there, but I wouldn't try it. Look into that, if you're very curious about, or you can look into that before you try it. But I'm sure I can find something better to eat than a round elm fruit. Got those? Cones? So wait a minute, now you're trying to tell me that pine cone is a fruit? How does that work?
Over the hedging.
Berries? Can anybody tell me what the berry on the left is?
Oh, it's from.
The blueberry, the blueberry.
It kind of looks like a blueberry, but what is it?
Juniper.
It's a juniper berry.
I draw like a cherry.
You draw like a little, yeah, you can draw cherry,
That's not a tree.
it's a berry. You drop.
Wasn't apple a berry?
It seems to be
Apple's
circulating
not a
in a
berry.
select group
You could
of
drop
people.
a blueberry or a blackberry.
It's got free by whole,
Yeah.
whole in,
That's an interesting fact. Don't draw strawberry. That's actually part of the
I
family.
think last year we turned.
Part of the what?
Melon family.
It says things to
You
look
can name all these
Especially
things,
spend
they
a lot of
don't-
time
call
on
them
that,
strawberries.
because I didn't
They
know the
don't
sheet
make any
existed.
sense, right?
So now she's gonna have a hard time.
But it's actually a fruit.
doing that.
Strawberry is not
We
berry.
put it in
Pine
there.
cone is not a fruit.
You know
It's
that
like pine cone.
if she
I thought it
included
was
it,
pine
soon
cone.
she'd get it thrown out.
Crazy.
My suggestion was to do this like this, if this is the
Wheat
sheet,
and brown.
make a second copy, put in your folder.
Hey, that was good. Was done.
And just know that you go to the interview.
Is that all of our
So
fruits?
They ask
Yeah.
something about it.
Okay, now we are to the fun part. I have pictures of trees.
Because this is what Brian learned about the other night. He's like, "Where's your cheat sheet?" He had it from Sue and Glenn and from this group of people. But
Stretch, take a
we went all the
break.
way through my.
Be happy to cut you off a lot. I think I have enough. Each table a couple of papers and then we can rotate them around. Each table will get a couple and we can rotate around. So somebody do a couple more. Rotate around. Hey, your picture. Hold it. Eyes up front for a minute. Is your tree conifer or broadleaf? How do you know?
I mean, honestly.
Label the parts of the leaf. So on a separate piece of paper, let's label the parts of the leaf. Margin, vein, the midrib, blade, the petiole. So try to draw it as best you can, or just number the pictures, and then write what it was. Leave the rest of those pictures around. Leaf shape, type of margin that leaf has. Is it simple or compound? Leaf arrangement, is it opposite? Is it alternate? Types of fruit, is there a fruit shown there? If there's a fruit, what type of fruit is it? Okay? See if you figured all those things out.
Yeah, if you could find out, because I don't know.
There's a good clue on that one. Well, one thing. So we can work as tables. We can work individually if we want. You guys want to work as a table and go through all of them? That's fine. Just make sure you get them all.
Okay, so this is a broad.
When you finish the picture, pass it on. We'll pass our pictures around this way.
Was it supposed to be the fun part?
It is the fun part. In the classroom, it's not like we're gonna have a dance party. Go outside and find leaves.
They're all dead.
If it wasn't so cold and snowing, we would absolutely be doing that.
Someone draw.
Teachers, please excuse the interruption. If you could go ahead and review the wrestlers at this time. Thank you.
Do you have any wrestlers? Nope. Luckily for you guys, this is spring semester, so here in a month or so,
We get leaves.
when the leaves come out, we can go on nature walks. Identify some trees. We can go, probably the school has some trees, I'm sure somewhere, that we can look at. We might be able to go to the forest one day in a bus. We could go to, we could go to Donfield Jack maybe.
It's just for, there's no special type
On
of.
the weekends, you could be looking at all these things. Preparing yourself for the forestry contest up in Moscow, right? Sean? In Moscow?
Kids.
That's it.
In forestry. So if you could go ahead and put your seeds back in here. Yep, you can take that home and feed the birds.
Wait, why is that?
Have the seats full
The
of.
margin range. You ready? You throw those paper cups away. Dara?
I don't know, does it have a leaf?
Doesn't have a leaf, but it's the mid-ridge.
So I have to identify.
Yeah, so it's not a simple or a compound. So, all the compound leaves are gonna have these arrangements, right? So he just had an interesting question. Let's stop for a minute. If it's a simple leaf, is it going to have a leaf arrangement?
Yeah.
No,
Compound leaves
they will
are
have.
gonna have the opposite of all.
You
Simple
can't have this
leaves, they're just gonna have a leaf coming out of the stem. They can alternate or be opposite on the branch.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as what this paper is asking for, it's asking for on a compound. Is it alternate or is it opposite? Okay? So that was poor wording. Are you done with all that? Okay? Are you guys done with a couple of these pictures? Are you done with one? No?
I do.
Are you guys done with one or both of your pictures? Some of them?
Yes.
Okay, we can swap over here.
Okay.
Are you guys finished with this one? You can start working on that one.
Alright. The simple is gonna be.
That's the margin.
What I think. What? I think those are alternating, but they're not showing up kind of on. Major competitive nomination. I would place that as an alternate.
Okay, well, I'm listening.
Yes.
Big card is
Yes, sir.
Let's move the very, very last one.
So you already identified that one?
Ish, we can't
Ish?
remember the leaves.
I know what it is.
Get rid of the leaves.
You don't want to.
You don't want to get your notes? Well, get out your notes. Come on, we still got 10 minutes left.
It's not that long.
It's not that long.
It is,
Oh, you're getting yourself.
it's such a good time to get jar.
That's a really good drawing, I believe.
You actually traced it. I'm,
You guys done with
Go
this?
home and do homework.
That? You done with that one? Okay. Here's one more.
Yay.
Okay.
Well, I got 360 of these in one package, so.
360.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, they only came with one. I was so
Costco or
happy.
something?
What?
Costco?
No, Walmart.
Oh.
Got those ones?
It's nuts.
Oh, I know what kind of.
It's
I
round.
know what kind of.
Yeah, it's actually white oak. Red oaks have a white oaks, magic road ahead.
Is there a picture of markups? Might have.
Oh, it's in your hair. Almost said-
I would tend to agree with Ryan. Because we have birch trees and that's how their little cactus look. Really short and brown. Whereas the alders are longer, right?
A couple.
That's just my experience. I think the alders are a little bit longer.
Those.
I can't throw.
3 in each, so 3, 2.
Oh.
Kind of hard to tell apart if you're just looking at these.
Keep my fingers.
Not all.
Okay.
So you got your notes out, you can figure it out.
It's a white oak.
It's a white oak.
That's a serious.
I remember that because it's reading.
You worked in a wood shop?
Oh, and then when Douglas for Pine Cone, it was like Douglas ran into the pine cone and like
Wait, what did you say, that's all that was?
this is remember I see.
Type of market.
You have a
I actually did.
No.
I bought 3 packages.
You dropped, you gotta drop it.
Are we still working on these?
I read-
That one?
Yes, I
Still working on it?
will. I bought them in freshman year.
Okay.
Start with this freshman.
You still looking at these two?
Yeah, you have to pay.
We're done with this one.
We just got that one.
Just got that one? Okay.
Well, then instead of talking about that.
Here's one more.
Alright,
I'll get through it.
Yeah,
Bathrooms,
barriers,
break.
Restroom.
You're done.
That's berry, right?
There you go.
Looks like a berry to me.
What kind of leaf is it?
We're looking upside down.
This one.
I believe we are looking at a berry.
What's the round?
Quick guess.
I know, what kind of leaf is it?
Oh my gosh. It's a lobe. Round.
There's a pretty good conversation going on.
It's a round leaf. That's the kind of leaf it is.
Edge, that's a low.
I thought it was. We have one more. So I can steal over here.
Yeah.
We gotta replace that one.
Willow.
Have you looked at this one yet?
Really is.
I did.
So you've had these for quite a while.
I mean,
Seems
you
like we're
can
talking about.
take,
That's his way of saying.
you take both
No,
of
you
them.
can keep that one. I don't want that one.
Where's that one?
You already have that one done? So we need another one over here? So we're saying,
Here's a weird
did you take this one? Or no?
Yeah.
You've done that one?
one.
I think these two are the ones you had?
Yeah.
Okay, so keep working on that one. This table I'm gonna have.
Stop.
Stop spreading plastic all over here. Trying to make my classroom look like a pigsty or what's going on? Bored.
I had to cut his style from my rod.
Style.
Yeah, the rod, because it was too big. It kept on making his eyes smooth.
Just imagine, poor little rabbit.
If you do pop them though, you don't hurt them. But it's scary taking real that close to the eye.
My friend's rod, she thought I had cancer, but I had
What? No.
accidentally cut open the abscess. It was
Gross. So I need one more paper if you have one. Geez, they got a lot. What are those?
I don't know.
Dude, what?
Spencer!
Are we done? Those? Yeah.
Close your eyes. That's gonna work.
Carr's group, here's one more.
Thank you.
You did that one? Okay. I can make that. Everybody see this one? Seems like it?
Oh, I spelled cat wrong. Oh,
Middle one.
is it a simple or a compound?
Cool. Lots of champions.
That sounds like a disease. Someone's saying handwriting? What? Radio's still going.
We've shared.
No mercy.
Go up to heavyweight, you want to.
Is that one done too?
Yeah.
I got two.
Oh boy, you guys are flying through these. Char, are you a good artist?
All
No.
that.
Or what are you three good artists?
I'm a good
Who
artist.
draw me a leaf on
I
the
don't
board?
even have bad answers.
Well, I'm the
Any
best
kind,
artist in the
like
world.
maple leaf, whatever.
Literally just.
Any kind of a leaf.
I can probably draw an oval.
You can draw real good?
Yeah.
Okay, I might have you do the next one. Didn't see you come in.
Pound it too.
Well, that's a good leaf.
Oh, it's horrible. Dude, this one
It's
is
a good leaf.
not.
If you get 2 pounds of weed, a pound.
Jacob,
That's 1 to 2 pounds.
on the board, there's a picture of a leaf. Go label a vein.
A vein?
A vein.
Can I label something?
Yes, you can.
Mango. Yeah, you're representing our table. Let's go, Mango.
I want to label the blade.
Blade. Carter.
What?
Go label
What?
the midrib. Jacob identified a vein. Good job. Carter is going to label the midrib. The midrib. So it goes up the middle, right? Excellent. Chara, label the margin. The margin of the leaf. So the margin of the leaf, where is that, Kiara? The very outside edge, right? Okay, Riley, do the blade. Show us where the blade of that leaf is. Excellent. The whole body. And everybody together, what is the stem? It's at the bottom, right? What is the stem also called? Gentlemen in the back? Petiole, right? People in the back. We call it like petiole. Okay, any questions on that? Good clean up. You got about a minute left. Alright, good job paying attention today. Keep your notes, write down. Pictures of trees, if you would like to keep those, you may. Otherwise, please place them right here on the screen. Pictures, you go back order, you don't want each of them. What? You identify all those stuff? Have a couple hats in here and a phone. Have a good day.
You too.
Yep.
Hey, buddy, you want these?
Freaking rock. Hey, Jacob, you staying here?
I am.
Pick up these cups for me. Throw away. There's a couple more up there. Oh, I threw away the other ones.
Ooh, soft one has to do that, but it's going away.
Yep, throw them away.
That's gonna be my turn. Or Mrs.
Like-
Hopper's chair.
For like 3 minutes?
Yes, for like 3 minutes, that's fine.